All right, then the group of death. That's what we were calling this one group that had Afghanistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Hong Kong, and it is really living up to that particular name. What a match we got there between Afghanistan and Bangladesh. A real thriller. We haven't seen too many close games happen till now in the Asia Cup, but this one really had its ebbs and flows, and I'm going to be talking to you about what exactly is it that we saw in this particular encounter. Very crucial this match, and it's really shaken things up as far as the points table is concerned. I'll also tell you the scenario in just a bit, but not a big target that Afghanistan were made to chase. But what's that one thing we always told you about Afghanistan? If they're not able to get runs right at the top, if that opening partnership or Sadiqullah and Gurbaz, if that doesn't work out, then there is trouble for Afghanistan. And as the tournament is now progressing, that is only coming true. Sadiqullah scored runs in the previous match, but today, what is it that we saw? No runs from him per se. Gurbaz got about a 20, 30 odd knock, if I remember correctly. But after that, there were just some contribution, just tidbits that we saw from the others as far as runs with the bat are concerned. And that's where Afghanistan struggled. Yes, there was some sort of resurrection that happened. There was some sort of hope for Afghanistan when Rashid Khan was hitting all those shots. A couple of those were absolutely amazing. No look shots, or the snake shot also was briefly there on display. But that no look shot really was the headline maker. And that's when you thought that momentum perhaps could be shifting in favor of Afghanistan. They may just get that momentum needed to get over the line. But in came Mustafizur, and he completely changed the script. It was his cutters, and that's what we know about him. We've seen him bowl in the IPL for the Delhi franchise, for CSK as well. Really found his mojo in the Chennai Super Kings, and you know that he is a wily bowler. If the conditions are there, he knows how to make use of the conditions, and that's exactly what we saw from the southpaw today. He bowled that cutter to Rashid Khan and was able to get his prized wicket, because otherwise it did look like Afghanistan would get a crucial win. But even then, even when Afghanistan have lost the match, it may not be all doom and gloom. What has happened as a result of this loss is that they have now moved to the number 3 spot on the points table. Right up top are Bangladesh, now Sri Lanka looking extremely good as well. Those are two teams with 4 points each. However, Afghanistan, it's still not doom and gloom as I said for them, because, and I told you we'll be talking about scenarios as well. Let me tell you about the fact that now that match between Sri Lanka and Afghanistan, which is to take place, it virtually becomes a shootout of sorts. There's Afghanistan that has 2 points at the moment. However, they have a very healthy net run rate. In fact, to be precise, their net run rate is in excess of 4. It stands at 4.7. That is their net run rate. So all they need perhaps is just a win, and net run rate will take care of itself. Sri Lanka have a healthy net run rate too, but it pales in comparison to that of Afghanistan. Sri Lanka's net run rate stands at a positive 1.54. That is a big gap between the two net run rates, and it will be a do or die match now for Afghanistan. They win that particular match against Sri Lanka, they stay, and as a result, then you will see Bangladesh, who are already done with all 3 games of theirs. They have 4 points. Yes, they lost that match against Sri Lanka, but they won't be able to do anything now. Bangladesh will only be seated on the side, and they'll be hoping for the result to go their way. They'll be hoping that the team that beat them just a couple of days back in Sri Lanka goes ahead and beats Afghanistan as well, because if that happens, Afghanistan are out of the tournament and Sri Lanka progress to the Super 4. However, if Afghanistan are to win, and all they need is a win, because as I said, the net run rate will take care of itself. Because if Afghanistan go ahead and win that match, that means Sri Lanka will have to pack their bags and go back home. Bangladesh and Hong Kong will then become the 2 teams from this group of death to then exit the tournament. And that's how things stand between that's how things stand in the in group B of this Asia Cup. Not a lot of runs that we saw today, but ultimately an exhilarating match to say the least, because they did get very close, Afghanistan, but ultimately they didn't quite get those partnerships that were needed. And as I said, once you get the top two of Afghanistan, that means trouble. And today was just another case of that. Take a look at what the middle order looked like today, or how is it that they performed. Zadran batted number 3, 5 runs of 12 deliveries for Zadran. Gulbuddin could not make more than 16 runs. Naib got a runner ball 15. The wicket was tricky. That's what, when you look at these runs as well, and both teams employed one particular tactic, and that was to go heavy on the spinners. In fact, with Bangladesh, we saw that they started the innings with spinners, so spinners having to play a big role in UAE. That's what we're seeing. This match was being played in Abu Dhabi. Here as well you saw spin play a role. Here as well you saw conditions favor the bowlers who were bowling slow, or a slow bowlers in nature. Mustafizur got rewarded, or every bowler on the day that was bowling slow was rewarded when you took the pace off the ball. And this is something that other teams will also be taking note of. Remember, India will also be playing their match, their last group stage match over here in Abu Dhabi. However, the tournament is still far from over. There is still a lot that is to happen, but very interesting as far as the prospects of this particular group of death is concerned. Afghanistan have themselves in a bit of a corner, but that healthy net run rate, it was a 90 plus run win against Hong Kong that they secured, and that's why winning in such multilateral tournaments, when it comes to qualification into the Super 4s or the Super 6s, it's these big wins that really separate you, or are the difference maker. And here as well, it could be the difference maker. All Afghanistan on the day will have to do is go ahead and win the match against Sri Lanka. If they are able to go ahead and upset Sri Lanka over there, who are looking very good, in fact, then things will perhaps change. But otherwise, for now, Bangladesh cannot do much. They'll just have to sit back and see how things unfold in this group of death. For now, that's all that I had for you. Do subscribe to Sports Day if you haven't subscribed to us already, and check out some of the other videos that we've uploaded. Thank you, good night, and take very good care.